This is BTV News at 9 o'clock, coming to you live from the capital, Gaborone. I am Khomotso Mapani. The headlines. Some schools in areas affected by floods will delay opening this first term. Prison wardens to become members of the Workers' Union. Botswana Swimming Sport Association starts a 5-day development camp at University of Botswana. Interpreting in sign languages, Taposa, good evening. As schools are gearing up to open tomorrow, that's Tuesday, some will not open due to flooding. The Minister of Child Welfare and Basic Education, Ms. Nono Kafela Mokoka, announced this earlier today.
Ga di a amiwa ke merwalela dikolo ga di a tama yaka di tamile mo mahelong a mangwe go ra gore dikolo tseo di tloga di tswelela hela yaka gale mme mo mafelong a ileng gore go maphasha go tamile metsi a gongwe le gongwe ga re batle go tsenya botshelo ba gaope mo kotsing ke tsona se ke tleng ha ke le tona go tla go ntsha ona molaetsa o go rolela bona bagogi ba dikgaolwana ba ba okametseng dikolo kana tsamaiso ya dikolo le bone ba ruta bana le bagoggo le bona batsadi ba ba mo mafelong a go itemogelwang gore ana le ona mathata a gore ka moso ko mahelong ngwana ao a amegileng ga go kitla go nna le yona pulo ya dikolo ka gore mo nakong ya gompieno re tshwaragane re le lephata le bona ba ba okametseng tsamaiso ya dikolo ko dikgaolwaneng le bona dikomiti tse leng gore ba itebagantse le tsona dipetso tsa tlholego gore ba nne ba re kanokele seemo se ba nne ba kana ba dipetso tsa tlholego ga go nna yana ba itse gore ba tshwantse gore ba direng go ra gore mo nakong e tlabeng go santsene go tsweletse ka merwalela le bone ba ba mo dikolong le bone bao ba ba tsamaisang kana ba okametse ba tla nne ba re hatekodiso ya gore seemo sentse sa tokagala kana se bihela pele yang mme hela ga go ka diragala gore seemo se tokagale ka pele dikolo tse dikolo tsone di tlabe di bulwa.
In other news, small and medium enterprises trading in the school uniform sector say restrictions on the importation of school uniform has adversely affected them. They say they now face stiff competition from large-scale retailers who have the financial muscle to mass produce and sell at lower prices.
Botswana imposed restrictions of the importation of school uniforms with the hope of empowering local manufacturers and resuscitate the economy in 2022. Small business owners say the beginning of the year is the busiest as new learners start going to school. However, they say they are often left with excess inventory as customers prefer buying uniforms from big retailers.
So it will only now favor those who have a very good cash flow, because now whenever customer producer, and even now for next year, even if they don't sell because of strong cash flow, for them it will be okay. And then there are very there's other big chain companies. They are now recruiting by very more other small guys, the medium to small producers, which now he's aspect.
La ba se kalo ya ka mo dingwageng tse di hitileng ba ta baraka ka butsana hela ka price rena ba di price rena mo ithabile go godimo ka jana tata ne re bina ba toetsetsa bo.
Customers do buy from us, though before the uniform import ban, business was booming because we used to import in large quantities at reasonable prices.
Ene kana ra go bo uthela bo go boja 250 and customer be go ra bo go ba dura.
Some parents say they prefer buying uniforms from small retailers.
The price is reasonable. The skete sa bone ke 160 is not deplete.
I think prices in small shops are reasonable. I cannot complain.
It's reasonable. Just sa bone ke ma 190. Tunic ke yone di harlogana gore gona le logo kana gona le logo. Me di range mo go 30 something.
Ke ba rekela twice ne emma.
I buy uniforms twice a year. The only challenge is it's hard to find grey pants in shops.
Body shirt especially last year, especially grey. Maruko grey.
Otle ba go simolola from 3. So gana kana mafom tere bitlhele gantse go te ba apare full uniform. So what I'm trying to do now ke le ka gore bogolo ngwana ba apere uniform ye rileng.
I'm buying school uniform for my Form 3 child. I want my child to go to school tomorrow in full school uniform.
Christmas and yalo. So gona go mpe go yana tota ne ke sa itse gore go itse gore mme gone ya go hella e molekana kana ya. So ikile ka ra ke boa ke itlhelele gore ya no ga e molekane.
Despite challenges faced by these businesses, they thanked some schools for referring parents to buy uniforms from them. BTV News, Gaborone.
Government has taken a decision to allow prison officers to unionize. The Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Mr. Nelson Ramaotwana, shared this when addressing prison leadership in Mahalape recently. Love More Mario has more.
The Botswana Prison Services, under the leadership of Commissioner Anthony Mukento, has over 2,300 officers working in 23 prisons across the country. Since its establishment, the officers have never been allowed to unionize. However, the new administration is in a process to repeal and review the Prisons Act and allow workers to join unions to help address their grievances better.
I am hopeful that this law will be passed by Parliament before the end of 25-26 law-making session of Parliament, which is the Correctional Service Act. Rare, your rights to express yourself in the workplace, industrial democracy. Your rights or freedom of movement. So the channel those are human rights.
Minister Ramaotwana also outlined the major expectations from the Botswana Prison Services.
Adopting a culture of human rights, as I've alluded to earlier, taking responsibility for maintaining your infrastructure, as the Commissioner have also stated that you have some challenges in the infrastructure, which he then made a commitment that you will address it.
The Commissioner of Prisons, Mr. Anthony Mukento, says they have an initiative to reduce the burden from the government as they have planted over 130 hectares to help feed the prisoners.
Our initiatives in this regard would be to provide or to grow and harvest maize, sorghum, such enough to provide for the staple meals of the prisoners. We have committed to plowing 295.5 hectares this season. And so far, we have plowed 134 hectares across the farming areas.
The minister toured facilities where some inmates shared their concerns on how some processes need to be improved. The minister's visit comes at a time when the Department of Prison Services is transforming on a 5-year strategic plan to become Correctional Services Department. And this calls for immediate action and implementation from these prison officers. Love More Mario, BTV News, Mahalape.
Ms. Sefela Rasitimi of Kachikau was sworn in today at the Chobe District Council as she assumed her role of councillor. This comes after she won the Chobe Enclave Central Ward by-election last month under the banner of the Botswana Congress Party. The council vacancy followed the death of the then newly elected BDP candidate at the October 2024 general polls. Kialeboha Eole reports.
According to Section 19, Subsection 1 of the Local Government Act of 2012, all members of Council shall, before taking their seats, take an oath before the Council to show allegiance as spelled out in Schedule 2.
I, Sefela Rasitimi, do solemnly swear or affirm and sincerely promise to be faithful to the Republic of Botswana, to uphold and defend the Constitution and the law of the Republic of Botswana, and perform all my duties as a member of the local authority of Chobe District Council,
diligently, honestly, fairly, and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
District leadership, among them Member of Parliament, Mr. Oscar Mablanka, and Council Chairman, Mr. Johani Chenjekwa, gave the new councillor words of encouragement as she embarks on her new assignment.
Honorable Steam, Hastim,
Honorable Hasitimi, you have a huge responsibility to fulfill. You are the only woman amongst men, and you will have to prove to the people of Kachikau why they voted for you.
Compete fairly like any other member here. If it is your chance to advocate, do so. If it's your chance to lead, do so.
Honorable Hasitime, for you, it's a special occasion. Also for this district to welcome Mutuwamme. But Wakachiko have decided in a special way. I welcome you to this council.
Ms. Hasitimi has vowed to serve her ward with due diligence and hard work at council.
lentswe la bomme le ta utlwa la ka nna ka thopo ye ba e dirileng bone e le batho ba ka Chicago mme bile ke ba soloetsa gore hela jaka ba
I will be the voice of women at council. Just as they have chosen to send me to council, I will work tirelessly for the people of Kachikau.
ditisa lentswe la me ha lena go kgala mo council mme bile ke ta bua ke boela mo go bone ke ba phetolo e tswa mo councileng.
Chobe district is made up of 10 elected councillors and 2 specially elected councillors. BTV News, Kasani.
The Minister for State President, Mr. Mwedumwasa, says Operation Bavalaseho has succeeded in suppressing crime over the festive season. The operation, which involved the Botswana Police Service and Botswana Defence Force, was launched by President Advocate Duma Boko in December 2024. Addressing a media conference this morning, Minister Mwasa revealed that the operation achieved a 9.8% reduction in criminal offences this past season compared to the same period the previous year. Tolofelo Tombale reports.
On the 18th December 2024, President Advocate Duma Boko launched the joint festive season operation, codenamed Operation Babalesego, that deployed contingents of Botswana Police Service and Botswana Defence Force around the country to ensure public safety and security over the festive season, when travel and merriment were at their height. The operation came to an end on the 5th of this month. The Ministry of State President and the 2 security organs updated the media on the outcome of the operation.
Overall, the operation has achieved a 9.8% reduction in criminal offences from 735 recorded in 2023 to 663 in 2024 for the same period.
However, the minister shared that gender-based violence-related offences were high during this period.
On offences against the person such as murder, threat to kill, rape and attempts, defilement, unlawful wounding were significant during this period. Of the 298 offences against the person recorded, 181 or 61% were GBV related, where women and children were mostly the victims. In these cases, the perpetrators of this horrendous crime were men who were either close relatives, intimate partners, jilted lovers, or friends of victims.
The sole fatality amongst those involved in the operation was honored for his service.
During the operation, we lost a member of the Botswana Defence Force, Lance Corporal Bakwena Mudimweng, whose life was cut short by a motorist. The deceased was in the company of 3 police officers who were seriously injured during a foot patrol around the streets of Letagan village. Allow me to extend my deepest condolences to his family and friends. We will forever cherish his immense contribution to the defense of this country and the fight against crime.
It was emphasized that the lower crime rates recorded this time around were a result of increased law enforcement visibility, but that for its population, Botswana does not have enough police officers, which is an issue that must be addressed. Tsolofela Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
In international news, fires in Los Angeles, USA have claimed at least 24 lives forced thousands to flee and destroyed over 12,000 structures. The Palisades, Eaton, Kenneth and Hearst fires, deemed the worst in the history of U.S. fires, have scorched approximately 160 square kilometers of land. The fires have threatened densely populated neighborhoods, including Pacific Palisades and Altadena. Around 150,000 people have been evacuated, with over 700 seeking shelter in 9 facilities. Fires have left disruptions and a trail of destruction that include power outages, significant damage to sewer lines, water and power infrastructure. Liza Sekeng is standing by to give you the latest in sport.
Thank you so much, Khomozo. Good evening. I am Liza Oseking with your World of Sport. And in our leading story, Botswana Swimming Sport Association has started a 5-day development camp at University of Botswana in Gaborone to provide swimmers with strength and conditioning support, sports psychologist support, as well as physiotherapy support. The program, which will also be extended to coaches to upskill their swimming knowledge, will also have a nutrition talk as well as anti-doping talk by WADA officials. Refilwe Lekore and William Sioka compiled this report.
This is the second camp after the first one was held in South Africa last year. The camps will include strength and conditioning, as well as sports psychology and physiotherapy support, all designed to enable local swimmers to excel on the global stage.
I think it's not just the camp. I think it's the general setting and training of coaches, and also bringing the level and upskilling the swimmers themselves. Basically what's happened is you've seen from August last year, you've seen a big improvement. There's 30 athletes that are earmarked that we're looking at to improve continually and checking their progress. And if you look at it through to our nationals in December, there's definitely been huge progress across the board from all of those swimmers in the program. Just that the camp itself, in terms of what it provides, I think people might want to know. It's not just swimming in the pool. We have a sports psychologist here that's come up from South Africa that's worked with some of these athletes before and is doing sessions now with our junior squad at the moment. Now, while the senior squad has been in, we have a specialist coach that's come up from Tux, from the High Performance Center, Gideon du Toit. And so he's here taking us through the sessions. This morning is test sets. After this session, the seniors will then go into a sports psychology session and a talk, while we have a nutrition specialist up, Nikki de Villiers, also from South Africa, that's come up. And Nikki will be taking them through a nutrition talk for both the swimmers and then later this evening the parents as well.
To ensure that the development camp is of high quality and helps to shape the future of swimming in Botswana, South African swimming specialist Gideon du Toit, who has competed at the highest swimming worldwide, will be the main facilitator of the camp.
From my experience currently, it's my first day here. From what the swimmers do, they're doing well, and the coaches are actually quite well on track. I think what we're trying to offer them is just a little bit more of a different perspective of how we can achieve certain results in different ways. That's definitely something I'm trying to offer here for it. Just giving them a better perspective on how to upskill on their swimmers, and maybe finding those unique athletes where you can just help them build into it for that part.
5 local swimming clubs, being Gaborone Aquatic Center, Phoenix, DMSS, TLC and University of Botswana, have attended the program, which has been divided into 2 categories of juniors and seniors. Refilwe Lekore, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Now, Botswana Basketball Association has selected a provisional squad of 20 players for the national under-16 team to represent the country at the upcoming Africa Union Sports Council Region 5 Games to be held later this year in Namibia. The team was selected after an intense one-day trials held at Tsholofelo Courts. Tsegofatso Malepa has more details.
50 players took part in the trials, fighting for a place to wear the blue, black and white national team colours, as well as to represent the country at the upcoming AUSAC Region 5 basketball games. The competition, which was intense, prompted the association to increase the number of players from the intended 12 to 20 selected players.
Basketball is a different kind of sport, so sometimes the main majority that we do here is we first start looking at height, how tall are the players, and then from height we eliminate that, then we go to, okay, can the players play? Looking at the timeline that we have, how far is our competition, and we look at a player's potential to say, if we pick this player now, can we be able to get them ready for the tournament, looking at the time frame that we have. And then after that, it's just more proficiency. Can the player take instruction well? Can the player be able to work well with others? Those things culminate to just one great rubric of picking a player.
Although the number of players selected may change over time, the association aims to train and develop those chosen to build a strong and competitive future junior teams.
Now, as you know, in basketball, we only need 12 players. With the 20 that we have, we're hoping to keep them in camp. Our camp is going to be one that is active, so we're going to have them playing games almost every weekend with our local league teams, so that we can be able to see and have them grow. Because in basketball, doing drills and all of this doesn't really improve your playing. You have to play the actual game, a refereed game, for you to get good at the instructions, the gameplay, and also so that we can work on our set. So we're going to keep cutting players until when we are left with our final 12. So I believe the last 2 players or the last 1 player will cut it probably the weekend before we go to the competition, or a month before we go to the competition. Our camps mainly are going to be weekend camps and then holiday camps. So we have the Easter holiday, and we have 1 school holiday in between us and the competition. So I believe if our budget allows us, if we can be able to get help from where we are looking at right now, we should be taking the whole holiday, this whole school holiday, doing our main major camp.
In an effort to continue scouting for more talent, as well as to build a solid team capable of competing successfully at the international games, the association has selected coaches countrywide in a bid to search for more players to run the training camps. Tsegofatso Malepa, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
And now finishing off with football news, Morupule Wanderers has increased the UNAO Flamingo Santos Wolves after defeating them 1-0 in an FNB Premiership League match played yesterday at Botswana Public Service College in Gaborone. Pako Sterek was there.
The visitors, Morupule Wanderers, started the game on a high note, frequenting Santos' 18-yard box, and their efforts paid off as Legacy Makura put them on the driving seat of the first half. Bafana Bamagala held on to the lead until the halftime break. After the recess, Ma14 came back rejuvenated, fighting from all angles, searching for an equalizer, only to be let down by their finishing touches. Even though Santos made some changes as the game progressed, that did not bear any fruit, with the game finishing at 1-0 in favor of Wanderers.
Confidence on their side it can be questionable, of course. They were coming on the back of a heavy defeat. So we came here, we wanted to unsettle them with a quicker goal. We couldn't get one, but we got the goal, of course, first half, and we wanted to get more goals so that we killed our confidence. But we failed to capitalize on the first half, like I said before, and then that gave them the hope that they needed. Second half, we had 1 or 2 more chances, of course. We could have also extended the margin, yeah, on their side they had some half chances, but generally I would say well-deserved victory.
We switched off defensively for their goal. But outside that, I thought we were in the game. We had a much better second half. We had chances. It's unfortunate that we didn't take them. But I think in terms of the overall play, I thought we gave a very good account of ourselves. Just unfortunate that we didn't get anything out of the game. We bring in new guys. We need to improve the quality of the squad, and we are doing that. I think the 3 young boys that we brought in today made a huge difference. We're hoping to get 3 or 4 guys before our next game. So it will help us create a lot.
Union Flamingo Santos' 10th loss leaves them still perched at the bottom of the FNB Premiership log standings with 4 points, while Morupule Wanderers' 6th win elevated them to the 7th spot with 19 points. In the other FNB Premiership League Sunday fixture, Muchudi Center Chiefs defeated Nico United 1-0. Pabo Sterek, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
Well, and that is it for sport this evening. Khomoso Mapani is standing by to give us a reminder of our top stories.
Some schools in areas affected by floods will delay opening this first term. Government has taken a decision for prison wardens to unionize.
And Botswana Swimming Sport Association starts a 5-day development camp at University of Botswana.
Liza Osekeng in sport, interpreting in sign language was Topota Potsa. Good evening.
Our roads are so dilapidated. And the City Council, we are taking that responsibility. Page ya City Council will be reactivating it to make it exciting, to make it accessible for Botswana gore re utlwe dikgwetlho tse gore council ena le tsone re di tsibogele ka nako because we are young generation re kitsa re tsiboga sentle re ta tsiboga sentle re bone dikgaolo tse di harologaneng bonotwane gore dikgaolo tsotlhe tsa ga borome ka se ka di nnang kola ka maina because tsotlhe di a tshwana ka seemo se se diwetseng re na le dikompone thuso tse leng gore ke dikompone tsa rona tsa matakala tsa one dikompone tse re di kopa mo go tsone tsa matakala ke gore we have given them tenders to help us because we have been advocating for outsourcing of ditirelo tse dintseng jalo. We did that. Me re sena re dira jalo, the very same companies sa Botswana tse di netse hele the 31st di citizen they just abandoned ditiro ya bone ga ba tseye matakala toropo e phephetha leswe toropo e phephetha matakala the very same blame ga bo e go dikompone tse di netse ditiro bo boela kae mo go rona re le Gaborone City Council jalo ne re kopa dikompone tsa go nna jalo gore re Batswana re bana ba Batswana we are empowering you